All right, good to see everybody here. Welcome for this Saturday morning. I'm going to go through a lot of stuff this afternoon and this morning, and just chime on in the chats on the right. We're live on LinkedIn, we're live on Instagram, we're live on Facebook. We are not live on TikTok. That will come. I think hopefully this week we'll have be doing some TikTok lives. You're going to be seeing me on more on Instagram. And in today's meeting, I'm going to make a special offer to you. There'll be a clickable link here on StreamYard and on the other services that you can click on and sign on up. We're trying to get people into the cohort program for January 1st, which I'm very, very excited about. And that's really what I'm going to talk to you about today is, how did your 2025 end up? We're right now we're doing this at the end of 2025. It was a tough year. It was a tough year for many people. I'm not going to lie. I mean, it was a very challenging year, challenging for me, both personally and professionally. I've been through this so many times that I just feel very resilient, and I'm excited about the future, and I'm excited about 2026 and the things that we have in store for 2026. And the only way we could have these things ready to go is because of what we accomplished in 2025. One of the things that we did is we really embraced technology in 2025, and we put it together in such a package that it is going to make all of my clients, all of my students so much more powerful in 2026 that there's no stopping you. There's just nothing that can get in your way. And most importantly is having that community of other investors around who are doing the same thing. So, I think it's important for me to kind of give you a little bit of history on myself, just so you can understand why we are in what we are in now and why I think it's just the greatest thing in the world. I mean, listen, I started out in this business very similar to everyone else out there. I attended boot camps. I went to the real estate investment clubs. I tried to learn everything about fixing and flipping and wholesaling and bird dogging and all that type of stuff. But none of it made sense to me. And I looked at those types of ventures as being very risky. And the thing that made sense to me was multifamily. And multifamily made sense to me forever. I mean, ever since I was a kid, multifamily just made a whole ton of sense, especially in the games of Monopoly. I mean, when you start off with a single house on each little building, and then you get 4 houses, and then you can get a hotel, it teaches you way back in the 1930s how you build a real estate empire. And that's exactly what I saw multifamily as being. And so my wife and I, she's now my ex-wife, and 2025 was the year. But we started learning about buying properties. Back then, we attended people's boot camps. We coached for certain people. I was a lawyer at the time. I owned an insurance firm that did ERISA type of plans. But I hated it. Absolutely hated it. Monday morning, I hated because I would just go into the office, get my head beat in with every possible problem, and I just couldn't stand it anymore. And I had to get out. So we started looking at multifamily investing, and I started making offers. I started analyzing properties. I started, talking to brokers. I started putting together deals. I started talking to potential investors. And over a short period of time, we ultimately started building all the pieces together that you needed to buy a property. One of the things we did is we brought into our network our friends and family, told them what we were doing, told them, hey, this is, where we're going. And if you're interested, stick around. We're going to be able to, you can invest with us. And that was, unbeknownst to us, that was starting to build the seeds of our networking, of our investor pool. And it was a good thing we did, because I would start analyzing multifamily properties. And let me tell you how we did it back then. All right. We had an Excel spreadsheet. I would go on LoopNet. LoopNet was the new thing. It was brand spanking new and it was slick, and everybody signed up for LoopNet. And as I say now, LoopNet is where deals go to die. But back then, that's how everybody found their deals. And you started building relationships with brokers. And what I would do is I'd find a deal that met my criteria, and then I would go ahead and I would download the offering memorandum, printing off 50 pages of Marcus and Millichap offering memorandums, dot matrix or whatever type of printer it was, 3-ring binder it in a binder, and I would start to analyze the deal that way. And that's what we did in order to find and make offers on properties. And when it came time to make offers, we'd pull out the Word document, would type in all the words and information, and would send it off to the broker, and fingers crossed. And that is how we did it. Let me tell you something, folks. Many people are doing it the exact same way 20 years later, and it's not necessary. And so what I'm going to show you here is how we are doing it now using technology, which is going to really expedite the process for you and enable you to, while your life is going on as it is, you can continue to start to build that business, build that machine, the same way it took me months to do 20 years ago. Before I got my first deal, you'll be able to do it in a weekend. In a weekend, I'm serious. That's how fast this can move. And that's why I'm very, very excited about 2026. It's going to do things. You're going to be able to do things together with other investors that you've never been able to do in years past. And I'm so excited about it. And it's all got to do with this program that we created called MultifamilyOS AI. And it takes advantage of artificial intelligence. Now, folks, every single business, even my business, even the coaching and the platforms, we're all using AI. It just is. They call it different things, not just AI, but especially in the law practice, the courts are like, well, you can't use AI for this, you can't use it. Listen, every law firm uses AI. And so I took, with my partner, Dan Lackner, we took AI, took my years of training, took his AI knowledge, put it together, and created something incredibly special. And that's what I'm going to share with you today. But I'm really going to show it to you in 3 components, because these 3 components are what makes up the Multifamily OS system. Now, OS, for those of you that don't know, stands for operating system. And every business needs a system. And this is what you're doing. You're building a business right now. And so what I'm teaching you is the operating system that you need in order to be successful in the multifamily business. And so I've given you all the tools, all the pieces, all put together in a system that you're going to be able to implement and be able to accelerate your business. All right. And it's all tied in with AI. And that's the beautiful thing about it. Well, let me take a swig of water here. So, and I'm going to ask you, if this sounds good to you, Molly's going to put the link on here. You can click on it, go ahead and sign up. I'm going to give you the first 30 days for free. Test it out, see if it's what is right for you. If you're looking to succeed in 2026, this system, you have to be on this system. It's just a given. And one of the things that I learned early on in the business was this is a very lonely business. If you think about it, you want to buy multifamily property. How many people on your street are the same way? How many other people, that you know of are looking at multifamily properties, people in your life? Probably, if you're like everyone else, very, very few. So you have this goal that you're trying to achieve that nobody else has, that nobody else understands, that nobody else can appreciate what you're trying to do. You're trying to build up that empire like a monopoly, and nobody's there to help you. And that is one of the key things about the Multifamily OS system, is that we create cohorts. Cohorts are groups of people with like-minded goals and are looking to achieve the same thing. So when you join the Multifamily OS, when you click on that link and you put your name in, you are going to become a member of a cohort. We're going to keep the cohorts down to 50 people. 50 people working together, getting to know each other, getting on group calls every morning from 8:30 to 9 a.m. I'm serious, folks. We have a stalwart group of people. Every morning we talk. We get to know each other. We find out what other people's goals and aspirations are. We work together on different properties. But that's exactly what we have to do in order to remain focused for the year 2026 to be able to achieve our goals and objectives. All right. So you will become part of a cohort. And, you know, you can work together with one person. You can work together with 10 people. You can sit back and watch other people work. It's entirely up to you. You are in the driver's seat, but we provide the community for you so that you can stay in this game and stay focused. Because really, listen, why did you fail in 2025? Did you lose sight of the vision? Did you lose sight of the goal? And you just said, I'll do it again next week, or I'll do something later. If you have a group of like-minded people all working together, all pitching together to get the same thing accomplished, nothing is going to stop you. You will be able to achieve so much, and it'll just be a great, great solution for you to succeed in 2026. All right. So let me talk for a moment about the process and how things have changed. And I'm not just talking about finding deals and the way I used to do it. I'm talking about dealing with networks of investors and getting the money available for you to be able to succeed, because that's another problem that we have in this business. Listen, I've been teaching and coaching for almost 20 years now, and I've seen so many people succeed and do incredibly well, and I have seen so many people fall flat on their face and never get past go. And that really bothers me, because I know what needs to be done in order for those people to be successful. When you come into my program, you're planning on success. You're looking at other students of mine who have achieved 8,000 apartment units. One of my students called me up the other day thanking me for taking him under his wing about 12 years ago, because now he's a filthy rich multimillionaire because of us. When he started with me, he had no apartments, and now he owned as many as 8,000. He's dropping some, selling some, as many as 8,000 apartment units. And that's what I love to see. And so when you come into the program, that is what you're thinking is your goal and your objective. But there are certain things that people don't do when putting together their OS system that prevents them from succeeding. And one of them is finding the money. It's the elephant in the room. Everybody wants to just have it there ready to go when it's time, but nobody wants to build that elephant, which has to happen. But what would happen if 50 people in the cohort were all working together towards raising money for a deal? Wouldn't that be a lot easier? Wouldn't that? And let's set a goal of every person in that cohort brings in 10 potential investors. Now this whole 50-person cohort has 500 potential investors looking to put money into their deal. Is it your deal? It could be. Is it other people's deals? Yes, and you could partner with them. But we all work together. So having that type of a system in place for the money is going to help you be able to achieve your goals and buy those properties and not have to worry about the elephant in the room. That's the other part of the process. Now, the third component of the multifamily OS system is finding the deals. Remember, back when I first got started, I set it as a goal that every week I would make an offer on a property. And I did. And that is why I succeeded. Because as I teach my students, if you're not making an offers, this is nothing more than a very expensive hobby. And hobbies don't pay the bills. Hobbies cost money. All right, so that's what we have to do as a group. And that's what when we get together on Monday morning, this coming Monday morning, I'm going to ask the cohort group, tell me about what property you made an offer on this weekend. Tell me about what owner you reached out to this weekend. If you're not making an offer, or you're not telling somebody that you're in the business, and what we do is we speak to an owner, then this is a hobby. And we can't have that, because we've only got a certain amount of time in 2026 to achieve our goals. So, when you sign on up and you get started, Your first 30 days, kick the tires, see if you like it. You're going to become part of that cohort program. And we're going to be asking you, have you found a deal? Have you found an owner? Have you made an offer? And if that scares you, if you feel intimidated by that, don't worry about it. So did I. We're going to achieve great things, and we're going to make it so that you making offers is like water off a duck's back. It's no big deal. So we're going to remove any fears that you have in this particular business. All right. Now, so those are the three things. I'm going to talk a little bit more about the third one: the community, the money, and then the finding of the deals and the system in place for doing that. So how do we do that? We do that by using AI. And the system that we have is unbelievable. Remember what I used to have to do is printing off the OMs and then, calling the owners or calling the brokers and then typing in the letter of intent and sending it off. What if you could do that within seconds on any property in the country? Let me show, I'm just going to jump on over here for a moment. If you have your phone out right now, go ahead and type in www.multifamilyOS where are you? multifamilyOS.ai. And you'll pull up the AI operating system for investors. I'm just going to log right in and just go to show you right here. I can pull up any property in the country. And while I'm sitting in the parking lot of a property that, hey, I really like this property, this is nice, I wonder who the owner is, I can pull it right off the system. Not only can I pull it right off the system, well, this one is actually kind of an interesting one. Looks like it's looked like a war zone. Huh. Oh, that might be a good one. I just found one I like. Pull it up. You can find out who the owner is. You can do a skip trace right on your phone, and then you can send an email by the push of a button, a template document. Hey, I'm interested in your property. Can I talk to you more about it? Send. Done. Could I do that back when I first got started? Not a chance. We didn't even have these phones, for crying out loud. There was not a chance I could do that. Now it's all at your fingertips. Let me show you how we work. So the first thing that you're going to do when you sign up for our program, let me just get out of this. When you sign on up, is we're going to talk about, let me jump on over here. Oh, hold on. Well, let me stop the share. There we go. Okay, start the share again. One of the first things that we're going to do when you sign up is I'm going to talk to you about, and with everyone, I'm going to talk to you about the markets that you want to do business in. All right, because it's very important that you choose particular areas. I have one student, and he's done incredibly well. He owns 8 properties, 8 complexes. And when he first started with me, he was all over the map. And after about a year, I was frustrated with him because he wasn't listening to me teach him how to do this business the right way. And so what happened was I finally got frustrated and I said, hey, friend, why are you looking in this area one day and then this area the next day and then a third place? And he goes, well, that's where all the brokers are sending me deals. That's why I'm just going where the brokers are sending me the deals. I stop right there. This is not the broker's business. This is your business. You need to be in control of your business. You need to pick a market and become an expert in that market. And once he did that, within 2 years, he had purchased 8 apartment complexes, and now he owns a property management company in that market, and he's doing well. Let me show you a little bit more here. So this here is what we do. The first thing you're going to do is come over here to the manage. When it turns on, when you sign up and you build out your account and you put in all of your profile information right here, this is what's going to drive your information to all the owners and all the brokers. So what we're going to do here is we're going to come over here to the pending recommendations. I'm going to show you how this works. Actually, let me see if I can do right here. I'm sorry. Come over here to onboarding, and you're going to have the ability to choose 5 markets. I say 5. You don't can only just do one. You can do 2, 3, 4, 5, but we stop it at 5. I want you to identify markets that are what we call your buy box. That's where you see yourself building your business. Now, we talk about working in a cohort. They're going to be, out of the 50 people that are going to be in your cohort, some of them are going to like your market. Some are going to want to work with you. Some are going to help you buy that property in whatever market. But we want you to identify a market and become an expert in that particular field. So what you do over here is I've already got, let me see, I'm going to get rid of one of these just so I can show you how it works. I'm going to come over here and add to the list. What's a market that, I got a couple of students. Let's do Oklahoma City. Or did I already do Oklahoma City? Nope. Oklahoma. Yeah, I did. I already did Oklahoma. Let's do McAllen, Texas. Everybody likes McAllen. So here is McAllen. I'm going to come down here. I'm going to type it in to the box, McAllen, Texas, click on it, and say update criteria. Now, what it's telling me here is that in McAllen, there are, let me see, is that 610 properties that meet our criteria. Now, what's our criteria? We're looking for properties between 15 and 35 units. Now, folks, this is just my criteria that we put in as the default. You can change this to anything you want. Want it built from year 1990 to 2010 and from $1 million to 2.5 million assessed value, estimated value range of 1.2 to 2.8, 610 properties. We hit done. And now what happens is every time I turn on my system once a week, I'm going to get pending recommendations. And over here, it tells me that right now in Nashua, New Hampshire, the artificial intelligence has looked at the properties that meet my criteria and has sent me these 9. So I'm going to go through these 9 and say, no, I don't like that one. Yes, I do like that one. No, this one's, 24 units. I like this one. I'll take this one. This one's got 7 units, 12. I like these. I'm just going to keep collecting these. 17 units. These are all in one of my markets. And you know what? I'm just popping all of these over. And when I do that, I'm now moving them from the buy box. Let me see what this one is, Maple Street. And I'm moving them over to the engage button. So from the engage button, I can now come over here and just type in Nashua, New Hampshire. And there are all the properties that I just saved and then some. I know this one. Let's see. I actually think I know the owner of this one. And I click on view details. So what happens is I have now decided that when I look at these properties, when I come into my MultifamilyOS AI program, I've already built out my buy box, and the system is sending me leads. Big change over 20 years ago. 20 years ago, I would have to sit and wait for it to appear on LoopNet. And when it appeared on LoopNet, everybody else got to see it too. I was competing against 2,000 other investors. Now I'm by myself. I'm with my cohort. I'm with my boys. I'm with my peeps. I'm working with a group that wants to help me achieve success and buy these properties. Wow. I didn't have that 20 years ago. And now I've got people sending me, the system is sending me properties that meet my criteria. Now you might think to yourself, okay, Charlie, but they're not on the market. Well, you know what? That's a beautiful thing about this particular system. And let me show you again. Is When we put this together, every single property in the country is on this system. I can type in any address up here, and if it's multifamily, it's in the system. You look at LoopNet, they're just going to show you properties that are for sale. I don't want to deal with just properties for sale because basically, folks, if you haven't figured it out, every property is for sale. You've just got to get out there ahead of everyone else and make offers before it hits LoopNet. And you want to find those distressed assets. So let's say, for instance, that in Nashua, New Hampshire, I keep using Nashua, that's fine, Nashua, New Hampshire, I want to look for specific types of properties. I've created for you smart searches where I can come down here and we can make offers and find motivated sellers or value add deals, high cash flowing properties, or fix and flips. Now you might ask yourself, well, how do you do that? What's a motivated seller? Well, we put the criteria for you right down there. The motivated sellers are any out-of-state owners who have owned the property for at least 10 years. Let's see what happens in my hometown of Nashua when I click on this. There are 52 properties that meet this criteria. All right. Now let's say I want to tighten it up. I only want properties with at least 8 units that meet this criteria. Well, there are only 4. 34 units, 2.9, absentee owner. I'm going to like this one. Now, let's say, for instance, folks, that I pulled into this parking lot and I decided, hey, I really like this property. I'm going to pull it up. There it is right there. I really like this property. I'm going to engage with this property. I click on view details. Now, remember, compare yourself to last year or 2025 to 2005. Look what it would have taken me. I would never have even looked at this property because the broker never would have sent it to me. Today, I'm sitting in the parking lot about to engage the owner. Watch how I do it. First thing I want to do is, obviously, because I'm sitting in with this owner, because I'm sitting in a car with this in my hand, I don't really need to look around. But if I'm sitting at home in Columbus, Ohio, and I wanted to look at this property, okay, that looks pretty good. I like this. All right, that's nice. Let's go down here. All right. Yeah. All right. This Morgan Street. Let's go down here to Morgan Street. Oh, I know where this one is. This one is, we call this the haunted church. But there it is. Looks like an nice old school building. Maybe it was the school building for this particular church. So let's take a look. Let's take another look at this. I'm going to get back down here to the, yep. Now I decided I want to engage the owner. Remember, because we, as a cohort, we have a goal, a weekly goal. We need to reach out to an owner or to make an offer, 1 per week. So I can easily make an offer to this guy. Let's take a look. I can scroll down and do a deep dive on this property. I can find out what the apartment rents are in that particular market. I can find out what the mortgage history is on this particular property. Caleb Foundation, that's the lender's name. Sounds like a private lender. Current mortgage at $2.1 million. This one, owner information. Let's see if we have the owner information. Guy lives in Lynn, Mass. This one might be pretty good. All right, so let's jump on back here. First thing I'm going to do next is I'm going to click the skip trace button. Now, this is where it gets really good. Remember, 20 years ago, I didn't have this information. I didn't know how to reach out to this guy. Watch how easy it is today. We found, let me see, Caleb Nashua LP. That's the property owner. Okay, but the problem here, folks, is because I don't have his email address in the system, I'm not going to be able to send him an email automatically. So, all right, but I've got his address. So there are 2 things I can do, but let me go back and I'll show you exactly how we figure this out. If you come over here, you can come up to the marketing materials. I can send him a marketing letter. I push this button and it generates a letter, a marketing letter on my letterhead. How did it get my letterhead? Because I set it up when I built my account. I put my logo in there and it automatically prints off my letterhead. And I can send this owner a letter. Or I can click on marketing email and I can instantly send them an email right from my phone, right as I'm sitting in my car. That's how we find these deals and engage in them. So that's what's going to happen when I get into the meeting on Monday morning with the other cohort members. I'm going to say, hey, I like this property. I did this letter to the guy. I mailed it off. I asked him to send me to give me a call or what have you, because that's how I want to engage this person. I like this property, 24 units. Listen, I'll tell you, the guy's got a very low mortgage on it. He's probably got a ton of equity. Let's see what we can find out about this property. This is a good one. Folks, what is it? 11:32. I've been talking to you for 32 minutes right now. Most of the time, not even about a property, but in the last 5 minutes, we've identified a property that meets my criteria in my buy box, and I've reached out to the owner. And that's it. And the beautiful thing about this system is when you look at it, once I do this, once I set this all up, when I come back in here to my manage and I click on headlines, it tells me what updated properties I have that I can go after. It'll tell me the next 7 days to follow up with that owner in Lynn, Mass. So I turn it on and it keeps track of it for me. It's entirely, let me just jump on over here, this discovery. It's entirely a tickler system that allows you to really keep track of your system. Are you seeing how this works? Can you imagine 50 other cohort members just like you all doing this, and somebody finds a deal and they like the deal and they want to make an offer on the deal, and we all pitch in and they say, hey, can I partner with you on that deal? Sure, I need partners on it. And I'll explain that more in just a moment. But let's take a look at this property. What we now need to do is analyze this property, and then we need to make an offer. Now, in the past, we would have had to wait to get the information from the owner, which is still a good thing to do, but we might not see it. But we would want to price out this property and make sure that, hey, what's a good number for this property? So when he calls me back and he asks me for that particular price that I said I'm interested in, I have something to discuss with him. Now, the beautiful thing about this is you can come on over, and once we decide to engage in this particular property, let me pull it up again. I'll engage in it. I'm going to view the details. I can come on over here to the financial analysis tool, and I can do a complete pricing. I can put in, I'm going to offer the guy $3 million or $30 million. And I build it all in right here on the right, very simple. And it tells me whether I have a deal or not. It gives me an investment grade. It spits it out here. And the beautiful thing about this is I can save this. I can save all of the different opportunities right here. And what I'm going to do here is I'm going to build out this property. Let's say it's worth $3 million. Interest rates at 5. Amortization, we're going to say 30 years. Let me see. I'm going to see if I can take that 0 out. Yep. Closing costs, we'll say, is 2%. I'm not going to worry about the disposition cap rate right now. 24 units. The average monthly rent, let's say it's $2,200. I can get that number from that deep dive number that I was looking at just a moment ago. I'm going to put in a 10% vacancy factor. Let's say a 2% rent growth. I'm not going to worry about other income right now because I don't have that information. Now, I should have the operating expenses for me to really put together a legitimate offer, but I don't have them. But I have rules of thumb for expense ratios. I had that 20 years ago. So what I can do is just click on this and I can say, I expect this to have about a 40% expense ratio. I'm not going to worry about the capital expenditures. I'm going to do it for a 5-year hold term right there. And let's take a look at this particular deal, the $3 million purchase price. The debt coverage is 2.21. So right away, I know that my price is too low. Guy's not going to sell me a $3 million property that can generate a 2.21 debt coverage ratio. Cash on cash return of 28.42. Now, none of these numbers really work for me. I know the guy's gonna laugh me out of the room. But if I put in 5 million, now I know my debt coverage ratio is 1.3. My cash on cash is 7.68, and the cap rate's about a 6.84. So I'm going to put a disposition cap rate of 7%. So now my IRR is 16. See how fast I did that? And now I know that this property should be priced around 5 million. So when I get them on the phone, I can pull this property up and I know right away, hey, yeah, I've priced it out at 5 million, but that's in the back of the cocktail napkin. If you can give me the trailing 12 and I can really put pen to paper, I can probably tighten up that number. So let's work together and see what we can come up with. Now what I do is I click on actions, save analysis, Nashua test property. Saturday morning deal, and I click save. So right away, folks, I've got a deal. I'm now looking at a property that meets my criteria, that I'm going to put this up right here, meets my criteria. I've reached out to the owner. I've priced it. And now, folks, I need to make an offer. How can I make an offer on this property? Instantaneously. The AI system does it for you. All you have to do is come on over here to the financial analysis. The legal documents, click letter of intent, and right there, you can see that my law firm, we've created documents for you. We have a short form LOI, a long form. If you want to do a master lease on this property, I have the master lease document all set to go. If you want to do an assumption on the deal and assume the existing money, just click on the assumption offer. That's a different LOI. If you want to do seller financing, I've got the documentation for it. And then when you're ready to go to a purchase and sale, we've already got that covered for you as well. And as you can see, look, it's already filled in the information. I just have to put in the $5 million. I have to put in a $50,000 earnest money deposit. I'll do a 30-day inspection. I'll do a 60-day financing. We'll do 15 days after the financing, and I hit generate document. And that is all it takes. That is all it takes. I have just created, I've sat in the parking lot. I found out the owner. I emailed him if I had his email address. I generated a marketing letter. I sent him a letter of intent. I analyzed the deal. I sent him a letter of intent. How long did that take me? Any property in the country. Now, do you see how 2026 is going to be a little bit different than it was in 2025 when you have these types of tools? It's light years ahead of the way it used to be. And I am so excited because not only do you get the cohort group, you're going to get me involved in the process as well. So I'm going to be in this game with you every step of the way. Where we do the once a week get-togethers where everybody chimes in on. We typically do that Monday night from 7 to 8 p.m. That may be changing in 2026, but we talk every morning. That's what really gets people going and keeps people focused. Now, okay, Charlie, you said community. You said using AI to find the deals, and then you talked about finding the money. How do we find the money if this deal looks good? All right, but before I show you the money, there's one more thing I want to share with you as to how this system really works. All right, if you come back here, I'm going to scroll down. If you come back here to this particular property, I'm going to click on it. That's what you want to do. You want to highlight it, and it's favorited. If I come over here to Toolbox and I click on Road Trip, now imagine sitting in the parking lot of this property, and I want to find other properties in this general area that meet the same type of criteria. All I have to do is click Road Trip, and it shows all the other addresses in this neighborhood that meet our criteria. Now, in this particular case, what I'm going to do is I can do a search radius of 1 mile. I'm going to do 2 miles. And then what I'm going to do is, this is the assessed range. It's within 10% plus or minus of the this particular property, I'm going to broaden it. I'm going to say properties that are within 20%. All right. So now I can see, look at all these properties. While I'm sitting in the parking lot, I can just click on these properties and drive out to them and take a look at other properties. If I'm out on a road trip, folks, if I'm out on folks, I'm so sorry. I did not share my screen on that one. Let me do that again. I apologize. What you do over here is, I'm going to go back. If you come, let me back it up here so you can see it. Remember, I chose this property. I viewed the details. There it is. And then I came over here to this side under the toolbox and I clicked road trip. I clicked on road trip and all of a sudden I get a map showing all properties in that particular area just like it. Yep, good. You're seeing it. Now over here, I'm going to change the search radius to 2 miles, and I'm going to put every property within 20% of the assessed value of this property, plus or minus. And I'm going to hit search. And look at that. I can sit there in the parking lot and drive around to each one of these properties. I can click on them. I can go and view these properties like I'm sitting at home in Columbus, Ohio. That's not my home. But here's another property right in the same general area within 20% of the assessed value. I love it. This is so cool. I'm trying to get out of this one now. Let me X back here. So I can make so much more of my road trips going out to see these properties because I don't have to wait for a broker to bring me these leads. I've got them at my fingertips. How cool is that? That is the coolest thing in the world. Now, let's talk about how things really get going. Now, I showed you discover and engage and manage and also coach. Remember, folks, this is an AI tool, and you have me at your fingertips here so that if you have any multifamily questions, I send you to the coach. Go to the AI coach, type in your question. We've sent an AI bot through 20 years of my training and captured my answers to many questions that are already out there. So if my answer is in the system, you're going to hear it from my voice. It's amazing what this thing can do. When we asked it a question one time, just kind of as a joke, like one of my typical, this is nothing more. What is nothing more than a very expensive hobby? And AI came back and gave the answer, and it sounded like it was from me. But if it doesn't have the answer in my voice, it goes out to the internet and it gets you the answer. That's how cool this thing is. Did I have that 20 years ago? No. Back then, I had to wait for my half-hour, twice a month coaching call with my coach that I paid big money to. And now it's all at your fingertips. So let me show you the last feature. Now I'm going to ask Molly to go ahead and put the. Let me just show. Oh wow, I get some great comments. I'll come back to the comments in just a moment. Now I'm going to show you what happens when that particular property, we get it under contract. Oh no, what do I do now? I don't have the money. I need, how do I engage people? How do I start to build up my network? We will have been doing that every single week, building up what we call the investment club. And I'm going to show you how that works. So let me show you what happens when this particular owner comes back to me and says, I accept your offer. Okay, watch this. First thing I'm going to do is I'm going to jump back on over here and I'm going to come on over to fund. Now I have to get this deal funded. So the first thing I'm going to do is talk about the Saturday morning Nashua property accepted offer. I'll fix that. That's what I'm going to call it. Now, here's the beautiful thing. When we have 50 people in the group, everyone's going to be different. And so if you find a deal and you get a deal under control, you are the quarterback of that deal. So you can control everything about that deal as it goes through the process. So you may decide, hey, I have my own money. I don't need anyone else to partner with me on this deal. I want to do this deal by myself, but I'm going to show it out to everybody. I'm going to raise the money on my own. And so I'm going to come into the funding mechanism of the OSAI, and I'm going to decide I'm going to use my own money. So I put in private equity. Or I decide I'm going to take this thing out to the market and we're going to use accredited investors and we're going to build them in this way. When you do any other option but the Capital Club, only you and I can see this deal in the submissions. This is a private deal between you and whoever else, but I can come in and take a look at it and advise you on it. If you decide I need help, I need money, I want to access the Capital Club, we click on this button right here. Now, when we click on this button, everyone in the group can see your submission. And that's a good thing because you're looking to get people to sign up for your club and to get them on board. Let me blow this up a little bit. So down here, you're going to say, what is great about this property? Test property, buyer, seller responded and agreed upon the price. All right, excellent. Now notice what happened is when I put in the investment thesis, step 2 popped up. Now from step 2, I'm going to choose the property. Remember, we have a bunch of properties down here. Let me see, Vermont, Georgia. Oh, where the heck is it? Choose a property. Did I come in the wrong way? Oh, I have to look at my site. Nope, is that it? Nope. So I come on over here. Saturday morning, choose a property. Main Street Brattleboro. Which one am I going to choose? I don't see the one that we're looking for, which is bumming me out right now. Let me think here. Let me see. Let me try it one more time. All right, you know what I'm going to do? I'm just going to grab one of these. And, it didn't show the property that we wanted. Jack, okay, so now we're going to grab the analysis. This is another student's property. And we built in the pricing scenario. As you can see, we're building out all the elements of this particular deal. Now we need to build an analysis. And in order for us to build an analysis that makes sense to you, the leader of the deal, the quarterback, you're going to tell us, what is your investment strategy? Are you confident that this property is going to be a solid one? Are you being more conservative about the deal? Are you being more aggressive about the deal? Let's be conservative. And once we click that, we generate the investment analysis. All right. So I'm going to wait. It's going to take me a moment to pull that up. But in the meantime, while that's building itself out, I'm going to explain that this property, once it's all built out, is going to be submitted to everyone else in the group. All 50 people are going to look at your submission and they're going to analyze it themselves and say, hey, I like this. Or if they don't like some of your numbers, they can go in there and modify the analysis, save it as their own, and then resubmit it back to you and say, hey, did you ever think about maybe we can get the interest rate? I think you're being a little too aggressive on the vacancy. I modified the vacancy, and now the numbers look a little bit more conservative, but I think you might have more luck with outside investors. That's the type of interchange that we're going to have within the cohort as we build up these groups. All right, so let me jump on back over to see if it popped up. No, it should still be analyzing. Let me come on over. Oh, there we go. I guess I forgot to click a button. And so we're going to go through this, and I'm just going to let you'll see how it works. But are you seeing how this ties in and how this pulls together everything that I was doing 20 years ago and puts it all at your fingertips and accelerates your business? I remember back then I spent big money for coaching. Nowadays, wait until you see the offer that we have here. All right, so it all popped up. There's all the information. This is your investment analysis. If you don't like it, you can come in here and modify anything it says. And when you do this, because this is what all the other 50 members are going to do, they're going to come in and read your analysis. And this talks about what's going on in that particular marketplace. It's just such powerful stuff, and it's all at your fingertips. So now that we've done every step, one other thing that we can do is, remember, in this particular case, the owner didn't send us any information, but we did generate a letter of intent. And I want everybody on this group to see that letter of intent. And I can click on other files. And if I had saved that letter of intent into one of my, let's say a Dropbox or a OneDrive, I can copy that link, post it here, save it, and everyone else can come in there and look at this particular deal and look at my numbers and analyze what I've got going on. And then you hit create submission. And there you have it, folks. There are all the submissions. So when you wake up and you come in and you look at manage, you can come over here to announcements, 8 properties looking for funding. You click on the browse opportunities and it takes you right over to these properties. That's how we all work together towards getting deals done. Pretty cool, huh? Pretty cool. And that's how we set up for the investment club. Now, the investment club, I'm going to show you this final point here. We're coming up right at the right time. Remember, I showed you that you could do a private equity, you could do a 506C, 506B, you could do a crowdfunding, you could do all different ways. And then we had the Capital Club. The Capital Club is the newest concept. I don't think it's new. It's just really taken off. And folks, I wish I had this 20 years ago. If I had had this mechanism 20 years ago, I could have bought property whenever I wanted to. What it is we create an investment club. So right now we have the framework. It's just sitting there waiting for this cohort to sign on up. And we've created a club that has said, we are looking to buy multifamily property that meets these criteria. And then all 50 people, we're all going to start promoting this club to all our friends and family with a $20,000 minimum sign-in and you don't have to be an accredited investor. That's the beauty of this thing. Everybody says, yes, I want to sign up for that type of a deal. How do I do that? Click here, sign on in, and now we start bringing in people, commit. I'm in for 20 grand. Okay, you're in for 20 grand. I need you to put up 3%. Click this button, put it on your credit card, $600, holds your space in the club. And once we have the club fully committed, right now the first tranche is $250,000 and $500,000. We're going to get up to $1 million in the first club. That money is money that the people in the cohort program can use to go out and fund their deal. You come in here, the club likes your deal, they vote on it and say, yes, I want in on this deal. You're going to have that money at your fingertips to do the deal. Well, Charlie, what about the other 49 people? Well, yeah, listen, this is a moving vehicle here. We're going to go out there and we're going to raise another $1 million. And you see how this works? Is we start to really build up that monopoly game. And 2026 is going to be the year that we start doing this. How does that sound? Do you get it now? And if you want to find out more about the cohort, let me just tell you what you can do. And I'm going to go back over here, StreamYard, and I'm going to share here. No, what I want you to do is come over here to the MultifamilyOS. Let me just check to make sure that I'm being seen. Yes, just go ahead and scroll on down here. There are going to be some videos this week that'll explain all the different aspects, the acquisitions. What MultifamilyOS does for you is it essentially creates a marketing assistant for you. It creates an underwriting manager. It has your legal department at your back. It talks about investor relations, about how to get your people in the group. It helps you with acquisitions. It does all of these things for you as its tool. And if you want to find out more about the Capital Club, scroll on down, click here, and watch how it works. And I'll tell you exactly what you need to do. And if you want to join the Capital Club, you just click on over here. And I always wonder, and there it is, Multifamily OS Capital Club. Pretty cool. Oh, that didn't show up. Hold on, let me jump back over here. How do I do this? It should show you that right now. No, let me see. Hold on. Do it. Yeah, shows you right here the Capital Club. So make sure that you click on this, follow it. Let me go and fix this one over here. You should be able to see this one. Stop that. Let me see if I can do it again this way. Nope. Hold on. I need to go here. I need to stop that share. Let me start the share. Start the share, presenter share screen, and right there. Here you go. And there you have it, folks. There's where you can see the Multifamily OS Capital Club. But you can get all of that from the website at multifamilyos.ai. All right. This is it. This is I can't think of any better way. I have, when Dan, my partner, came to me and told me about what we could do, I was blown away. And then as we started developing it, I just could not believe all that this system can do. And we're limiting it to 50 people. I'm telling you right now, folks, the offer, and I know Molly's got that clickable link. I don't know where it is. She's probably going to tell you. But it's a 30-day. No, you put in your credit card. We don't hit your card for 30 days. Test it out. You're going to get full access to the system over the next 30 days. But once we hit 50 people, we shut down this cohort. Then you'll have to wait until the next one starts. And you're probably wondering, like, how much is it? It's $297 a month, and it's like $250 times 12 it's like $3,000 for $3,000 for an annual subscription if you want to pay all up front. $297 a month, and you get the community, the access to the Capital Club, the AI feature, all of that, and it's just the best system out there. There's nothing better. So listen, I really appreciate you all coming out here. You got to click on that link. You got to sign on up. You got to get involved. This is the best thing that I've ever seen. I really want to see you succeed in 2026. There's no better way to do it than to have this group of people with all of these features. You're going to have fun. You're going to have fun. So 2025 was a tough year. Put it in the record books. Let's move on to 2026. Let's start putting our heads together, working together. You don't have to go out there raising $100,000 per person in order to make these deals happen. You can now work with non-accredited investors, get them into the club, and you can start acquiring property using all of these features. All right. Great to see you all. And I'm looking forward to getting you on board. Now's the time to do it. It's not going to get any cheaper. Believe me, if anything, once after this cohort's done, we're probably going to go up in the price. So make sure you do that. All right. That's it, folks. Have a great weekend. I know I am. I got a lot of stuff going on the rest of this weekend with grandchildren, birthday parties. And I can't wait for that. So I will see you all soon. Go ahead, sign on up today, 30 days for free. Put in your credit card. We're going to hit your card in 30 days, but you're not going anywhere. Once you find out how good this is, you're sticking around. You're going to build a system like you've never had before. I guarantee it. I guarantee that you're going to do that if you do what I tell you to do. All right, folks, great to see you. And I'll talk to you hopefully this week. See you all.